The Supreme Court Bar Association has issued a clarification that it has not authorized its chief to write to the President of India. Now, the clarification comes after the Top Court Bar Association chief Adish C. Agarwala wrote a letter to President Draupadi Murmu urging her to seek presidential reference of the apex court judgment in the electoral bond scheme case. Now, he said that corporates would be vulnerable to victimization if details are revealed. The association has now condemned it and called it as an attempt to undermine Supreme Court's authority. In his letter to the President, the Supreme Court Bar Chief claims that revealing the names of corporates that had contributed to different political parties would render the corporates vulnerable for victimization. He also added that there is a possibility of them being singled out by parties that had received less contribution. Now, the bar body leader urged the president to seek presidential reference in the electoral bonds case so that the entire proceedings could be reheard and complete justice could be done. Now, this letter, of course, came hours after the SBI submitted the electoral bonds data to the Election Commission after the top court directed them to disclose the details. Harish, my colleague, joins me for more. Harish, good morning. As far as this is concerned, what is the latest that we're picking up in terms of the letter that has been written?
Yes, in fact, what we should tell our viewers is that the Supreme Court Bar Association president, who happens to be Adish Agarwala, is also the president of the All India Bar Association, which he has formed recently. And in fact, the SCBA Executive Committee says that he might have written this letter to President Murmu asking to keep on hold this electoral bond judgment only in the capacity of the President of All India Bar Association. And the SCBA has nothing to do with it. They have distanced themselves from this letter. And also, after the hue and cry was raised in various circles, now they have come up with a press release saying that as of now, it looks like there is an intense SCBA chief Adish Agarwala versus SCBA Executive Committee row, which is erupted over his letter to President to interfere and put on hold Supreme Court's electoral bond judgment. Supreme Court Bar Association, as you rightly put, calls it an attempt to overreach, undermine the authority of the SC. Let me read out from the press release. It says, we are distancing themselves from the letter. SCBA release says it has become expedient for the Executive Committee of the Supreme Court Bar Association to make it abundantly clear that the members of the committee have neither authorized President Adish Agarwala to write any such letter, and we do not subscribe to his views as expressed therein. Supreme Court Bar Association Executive Committee further views this act as well as the contents therein as an attempt to overreach and undermine the authority of the Honorable Supreme Court of India and unequivocally condemn the same. So, a very strongly worded letter, press release coming out from the Supreme Court Bar Association condemning.
Absolutely, Harish. And on that note, I also want to thank you very much for joining us.